What if I told you that having $100 million in the bank is actually the most expensive way to be broke? Most people think this amount of money means you never have to worry again, but in reality, it's where the real financial war begins. If you don't understand how the ultra-rich actually spend this capital, you'll lose it all in less than 24 months. Stick with me, because in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how a 9-figure fortune vanishes into the world of hyper-luxury, and why most millionaires are actually terrified of this number. Before we move into the first mansion, do me a favor. If you want to see the world through the eyes of the 1%, hit that subscribe button right now. It's the only way to ensure you never miss a deep dive into the true cost of power. Let's start with the garage, because this is where the math stops making sense. At this level, you aren't buying a car, you're buying a trophy that happens to have an engine. Take the Rolls-Royce boat tail. It costs $28 million. For that price, you get a rear deck that opens up to reveal a permanent hosting suite with a parasol and cocktail tables. But here is the part no one tells you. The insurance for a car like this can cost $50,000 a year, just for it to sit in your garage. If you actually drive it, the depreciation hits like a sledgehammer. Every mile you put on a one-of-one supercar can wipe $10,000 off its resale value. Then we have the daily drivers. A Bugatti Chiron for sport will set you back about $4 million. Most owners will spend another $200,000 just on custom carbon fiber finishes. But wait, here's the joke. Why did the billionaire cross the road? He didn't. He bought the road and turned it into a private driveway, so he wouldn't have to see your Honda Civic. If you think the cars are expensive, wait until we talk about where they are parked. A $100 million mansion is essentially a small hotel that only you live in. In 2026, the standard for this price point is 30,000 square feet. We're talking about properties like the Sky Garden in Miami, which features an underwater garage where you can look at your car collection through the glass of your swimming pool. But owning a $100 million home is like owning a hungry animal. Has to be fed every day. The electricity bill for a home this size can easily top $15,000 a month. You need a full-time staff of at least 10 people. Between the estate manager, the private chefs, the gardeners, and the 24-hour security team, your monthly payroll is $50,000. You are spending $600,000 a year just to keep the dust off the furniture. To a normal person, that's a retirement fund. To the ultra-rich, it's just the cost of having clean floors. Now, don't go anywhere, because the most expensive part of this lifestyle isn't on land. We are about to look at the money pits of the sky and see that make a mansion look like a bargain. Let's talk about the Gulfstream G700. It is the gold standard of private aviation in 2026. The sticker price is $78 million. If you have $100 million, this jet takes almost 80% of your entire net worth in 1 second. But that's just the entry fee. To actually move this jet from New York to London and back, you're looking at $70,000 in fuel and landing fees. If the jet sits in a hangar for a month, you're still paying for the pilot's salaries and insurance. It is a machine designed to turn money into noise. And then there is the yacht. If you buy a 200-foot super yacht for $60 million, you have officially entered the most expensive hobby on Earth. The industry rule is that a yacht costs 10% of its value every year to maintain. That means if you buy a $60 million boat, you are writing a check for $6 million every single year just for it to exist. That's $500,000 a month. If you don't have that cash flow, the boat will bankrupt you faster than a bad divorce. Here is what most people don't know. The rich don't just buy these things to show off. They buy them because at that level, time is the only thing they can't make more of. They spend $5 million a year on a jet so they can save 4 hours on a flight. They spend $10 million on a high-security compound so they never have to deal with the public. The daily spending of someone with $100 million is a constant stream of high-value exits. A $3,000 dinner is a Tuesday. A $20,000 weekend in St. Bart's is a routine. But the real luxury they are buying is the removal of people. They pay to be alone. They pay for the privilege of never having to wait in a line, never having to see a crowd, and never having to explain themselves to anyone. $100 million buys you a life of absolute perfection, but it also buys you a life of absolute isolation. You live in a world of glass and gold, but you are the only one with the key. Most people see the shiny objects, but they don't see the massive weight of maintaining that reality. If you found this look into the true cost of wealth fascinating, make sure you check out our next video about why the world's richest people are currently selling their mansions to live on secret floating cities. It's even crazier than it sounds. Now you know what $100 million really buys. If you're ready to start your journey to the top, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments. If you had to choose between the private jet or the 200-foot yacht, which one are you taking? We'll see you in the next one.